Right now, there's a voice in your head. It sounds like you. It uses the word I, but here's the disturbing question. If you are listening to that voice, then who's talking? That little voice narrates your entire life. I need coffee. That was awkward. What should I say next? It's there when you read these words, when you replay conversations, when you plan your day. For most people, the voice never stops. You probably assume everyone has this, that everyone thinks in words, that everyone hears themselves narrate their thoughts. Here's the thing, they don't. Millions of people have no internal voice at all. None. And they have no idea why you'd even need one. This isn't a quirk, it's a window into something deeper, who you really are, how consciousness works, and why the voice in your head might not be you at all. Imagine this. You read a book, but you don't hear the words. You think about dinner, but there's no voice planning it. You replay a conversation, but there's no internal narration. Just concepts, images, feelings, direct knowing without language. For people without an internal monologue, this is completely normal. They've never heard themselves think. Most people discover this by accident. Someone mentions the voice in your head, and they're confused. What voice? Or they ask, how do you think in words? Doesn't that take forever? To them, verbal thinking sounds exhausting, like having to narrate everything before you can understand it. Neuroscience calls this verbal processing versus non-verbal processing. Both are completely normal. Your brain can think without language. It can process complex problems, make decisions, feel emotions, all without a single word. Language is just one tool for consciousness. Some brains default to it, others don't. Neither is better. They're just different operating systems for the same mind. And it's not binary. It's a spectrum. Some people narrate everything, some people never do. Most fall somewhere in between. Sometimes words, sometimes silence. You might not even be consistent day to day. But here's where it gets weird. If you do have that voice, who is it? You're listening to it, which means you're aware of it. But it's coming from inside your own head. So are you the speaker or the listener? Are you both? Neither? This isn't philosophy. It's the fundamental mystery of consciousness. Neuroscience has a theory. The voice isn't you. It's your brain's language center talking to the rest of you. The part that observes, that's aware, that experiences. You're not the voice. You're the awareness that notices the voice, the consciousness behind the thoughts. The evidence. You can observe your thoughts. You can notice when your mind wanders. You can catch yourself thinking something and disagree with it. That requires two things, the thought and the awareness watching the thought. Two layers. You experience both, but you are the awareness, not the content it's watching, which means something strange. You can exist without the voice. People without internal monologue prove this. They're just as conscious, just as self-aware, just as them. They just experience being themselves, quietly. The voice isn't consciousness. It's just one way consciousness can express itself. You're the awareness underneath. Always have been, always will be. Most people believe they are their thoughts, that the voice is them. So when the voice is critical, anxious, repetitive, they think that's who they are. But it's not. It's just language processing. It's your brain talking, not your identity. The real you, the awareness, is watching that voice. And you can choose not to believe everything it says. Understanding this changes everything. When your brain says, "I'm not good enough," you can notice that's just the voice. Not truth, not you, just language processing, probably copying patterns it learned years ago. You, the awareness, can observe that thought, recognize it's not serving you, and let it pass, like watching clouds drift by. And if you don't have an internal voice, you're not missing anything. You've been experiencing pure awareness all along. No intermediary, no narrator between you and reality. You just think directly. And that's not a deficit. That might actually be closer to what consciousness really is. Voice or no voice, verbal or silent, we're all the same thing underneath. Consciousness experiencing life. Some narrate it, some don't. But that core experience, that's universal. That's what you actually are. The rest is just commentary. So, what do you do with this? First, start noticing the voice. Don't judge it, just observe. Catch yourself thinking and realize, that's the language processor. You're the one noticing it. Practice that separation. Thoughts arise, you watch them. They're not orders, they're just internal weather. Second, question the narrator. When the voice says something harsh, ask, is that true? Or is that just old programming? A story your brain tells out of habit. You don't have to believe your own thoughts. Most of them are just your brain on autopilot recycling patterns. You, the awareness, get to decide which thoughts are worth listening to. Finally, find the silence. Even if you have a constant narrator, you can access the space underneath. Meditation, deep focus, moments of presence. In those moments, the voice quiets, and you realize you're still there, still aware, still conscious. That's who you actually are. Not the voice, the awareness that exists whether the voice is talking or not. Remember, the voice in your head isn't you. The silence in your mind isn't emptiness. You're the one experiencing both. Always have been, always will be. The thoughts, the words, the stories, they come and go. But the part of you that notices them, that never changes. That's who you really are, the observer, the consciousness behind it all. Thanks for watching. If this shifted your perspective, hit subscribe for weekly insights that change how you see yourself.